2, 1. Action, baby.
Wow, we're here. We made it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the For a Laugh podcast.
Uh-oh.
It was going to happen one time.
Who's going to die
Well, Dan, fuck
this
me. Like,
mid-season episode?
we're now, 15 episodes into filming? And
Can't believe it.
I just can't tell you how difficult it is to put that stupid fucking clapper down. Every single episode. You know how people keep saying there should be compilations of shit that I say?
Uh-huh.
There should be a fucking compilation of
Oh,
me
you
putting
just
the clapper
fuck it
down and it failing miserably every time. There should be a me parking outside your house and failing that. There should be a I'm talking to a girl compilation. The compilations are endless.
There's a lot of
Alright.
goofs and gaffs and fuck ups.
Well, we are here for a laugh, so.
We're here for a laugh and frankly we're dumb fucks.
And we're here to stay.
No, we are
We're
here
for a
to
laugh
stay.
and here to stay.
Why else would we come over? So,
Busy week, Dan.
yes, today we've got a packed episode.
Yeah, dude, we've got a bloody jam-packed episode.
A lot of shit to get into. Did I even see you this last week? I don't think I saw you like at all.
Nah, because we were going to film on Wednesday. This happens a lot, by the way.
Yeah,
Dan says, let's film, and I agree. I agree to Wednesday this week, and then I completely space it that I've actually booked.
And then he's like,
Yeah, I'd booked a Goldcast session with my good friend Mitchell Letcher, the old Super Frame,
boy.
another YouTuber, and went to go see Captain Marvel, and then it hits me on like the Tuesday night that I've agreed to go and see Captain Marvel with Mitchell at 7:30 p.m.
yeah.
on the Wednesday, and I also agreed to film the podcast, so I did the old double.
That's like the
booking.
worst time too, because you can't really do it before, you can't really do it after.
Yeah, when do I eat dinner? Like that line in
No,
BoJack.
exactly,
It's like,
yeah.
It's too early, but it's also too
Nah.
late.
Nah,
So
that's all right.
I double booked.
And the reason we didn't see each other last weekend was because I was bloody away. I was in, was I?
Yeah,
I
it
was.
was
I was
last
away in for a little public holiday, weekend holiday. So that was
That was
lots
our
of fun.
big weekend the weekend before, and there's another one
I know.
tonight.
Well, I think after that we had enough of each other. We were like,
Yeah, it's been too much.
yeah. So we had a bit of a week and a half break. So, but now we're back. We're back, man.
No, it's good to be back.
I mean,
Very
my
busy
week
week.
since I've been back from the whole holiday didn't really get up to too much, to be perfectly honest. Just a chill week.
I've been
so
insanely
far.
busy. I have to, for those of you who don't know, I have to go to TAFE like a couple of times a year for 2 weeks, and I had my first week this week. So,
well, I
you know.
did have on Tuesday, the first day back into the week. I had like training. You know, when you you
Oh,
wouldn't know,
no.
but
So
like,
you had a bit of a TAFE yourself.
literally, I had to go
Yeah.
into the head office, and they went
Yeah,
through the
fuck
training,
this
and it was
training
so,
bullshit.
dude, it was so. I mean, okay, it would be really similar with your TAFE. Like, you know how you do a job, and you know how to do the job, and it's like you don't need to go and learn how to do the job that you already do.
What annoys me about TAFE is that like I'm just doing shit that I'll never do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I know my job well. We do the similar stuff.
You know pretty much what's going to come up.
So when we're doing shit that like, you know, I'm not necessarily gonna have to ever really do. And if I do it, I do it maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
And I'd rather learn it at work.
Yeah,
I'm literally paying
exactly.
to be there, and a lot of money. Like it's like I've got 2 courses. That's only 4 weeks of an actual courses, and that's over $1,000. It's
Yeah.
$1,080 for 2 courses. That's only 4 weeks. So fuck me, it's a lot of money.
Look, I mean, at least I get bloody
For
paid
what?
for the training, so
well, technically,
I'll take that.
Nah, well, that's the thing is the first week of me being there, my wage of the week pays for it. So the second week I'm technically getting paid because the first week my wages just pays for the TAFE.
No,
and
that's
the
true.
second week I just get
Makes sense.
technically paid to be there.
See,
but, you know,
with mine, like we got taught how to freaking protect against getting like attacked or like not attacked, but because I work with people with
if they run at
with
you with a
mental
knife, don't
disabilities.
fucking.
Well, it was more like
Run away.
if they grab your hair, how to deal with that, or like if they kick you, what to do. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's all good self-defense methods and stuff, like, and it makes sense. And yeah, it helps to know. Like, thing is, we did get taught it when we first got the job, so
No, that's
we had
fair.
already been taught it. But at the same time, it's kind of like you can do so much training, but in the moment, it's so easy to just like forget it all.
It's so like, you know, when the first day we were there, the tool brand Makita came to see us, which apparently was very exciting. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're a fucking tool brand, which they're great tools, but they're tools. No, they do make a good tool brand, but I don't really give a fuck.
No.
If like Canon or fucking Nikon came to see me, I'd be like, it's fucking sick. But you know, they're just a fucking tool brand, and they're like,
No.
they were telling us about, they did like a massive like safety video, and it's like, wear like earplugs, wear like
my
safety
God,
glasses,
yeah, I know.
and this guy walks out. He's like, "I'm deaf in one ear," and I shouted, "Why?" And you couldn't hear me. No, he's like, but that's it.
exactly,
He
it's
came out. He's
ridiculous.
like, "I'm deaf in one ear. Who can guess how much this ear thing cost me?" And everyone's like, No one says anything, obviously, because it's
Yeah.
a room like 150 people.
Yeah.
And, like, they're just asking dumb questions, and
Fucking hell.
he's
So
like, you can
stupid.
make your hands go like numb if you use like the vibrations for tools, and he like shouts out like, how this man did this to his hand, and someone shouts, too much wanking. I was like, for fuck's sake, like, I'm in a room with
brilliant.
fucking imbeciles,
I love it.
and I fucking hate it.
You know, and the thing is, like,
It's like, wait, you have to wear earplugs where there's a really loud noise to stop you from getting a fucking
it's so obvious.
blasted eardrum.
Yes.
You don't say.
So much of the stuff
not know
too,
that.
like at our thing was like really obvious stuff. It was like talking about how, you know, verbal and non-verbal communication. It's like, you know, what non-verbal signs can they send that to show that they might be anxious? And it's like, you know, if they're making an angry face, they might be
So
angry.
he's happy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, surely he must be.
Yeah,
loving
I'd be like with the fucking saw of my hand, like,
Yeah.
here. It's like, move your hand. Oh yeah,
it. Yeah.
sorry.
And it was
You know,
like
until
verbal.
You told me.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking know that. I had to move my hand.
And it was like verbal communication. If they're talking fast and they're talking loud,
Well, it
that
wasn't.
might mean they're angry. It's like, okay, yeah, we get it. Like, I mean,
And you're there taking notes,
look,
like, what?
it wasn't all useless. There were parts of it, like there were definitely parts of it that was helpful, but you know,
you left and you were like, my mind's just been blown. Like,
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
know when
exactly.
someone
I
pulls
felt like a
an angry
genius.
face, it means
yeah,
they're angry.
I was like, wow, that's gonna really change the way I look at the world.
Speaking of angry people, Dan,
Oh my goodness.
the internet's in a bit of a bloody bit of a stir at the moment.
Wow.
Have you heard about the old Captain Marvel
The old
controversy?
Captain Marvelous Miss Maisel, yeah.
I've seen it, but before we get into it, what are your thoughts on? If you don't know, Brie Larson is under a bit of fire at the moment.
So okay, yeah.
Not
there's
only
this
just for
whole
being a woman, apparently.
controversy.
She did an interview a couple of months ago about the terrible film A Wrinkle in Time, which I believe only has like fucking 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was a massive flop for Disney. It was no way near what they wanted it to be, but Brie Larson did a little bit of an interview. Well, she was on a stage.
Well, there
and she
were, like,
said,
a
I
few
don't care about what
controversies, yeah.
white 40-year-olds have to say about Wrinkle in Time. It was not made for you.
Yeah.
So what? Obviously, I don't think that's cool. But what do you think about that? Before I jump into what I thought about Captain Marvel.
I think, look, I don't know. I think it seems to
Oh, here
me
we
to
go.
be just not a big thing on really either side. Like, it's one of those non-controversies, or like, it must be a slow news day or something. Because, like, look, okay, what she says about, oh, you know, 40-year-old white guys is not for you. Like, on one hand, I mean, that's probably true. Like, the main kid was like a young black chick, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so I couldn't imagine many.
Was she even
40-year-old
was
white
Brie
guys
Larson
came
in
out of
Wrinkle in
it.
Time? Is that why she got all defensive?
No, I don't think so. No, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to shut
Yeah.
out any kind of people who are going to watch the movie.
Yeah, I'm
Do you know what I
sure.
mean? It's like,
It's got 42% on
it's
Tomatoes. My apologies.
The other thing is, like, you know, don't say to, if you want those stories to be told, don't be like, oh, it's not for you. Be like, you should be listening to those stories so you can fucking learn what other people have to deal with.
I'm just saying though, it was a fucking huge flop because the budget was estimated 100 to 130 million, and the box office
was
was
130.
132.7 million. Yes, it was a
So
fucking.
they only just made, they basically made no
Well,
money on it.
It's
after
but
you take it
had
to, like,
the thing is,
advertising
it had a
and-
huge cast. It had like Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon,
Yeah.
Mindy Kaling was in it, Chris Pine was in it.
Galifianakis.
Yeah, I don't know why exactly. I
have
don't even
no
know who the
idea.
fuck he played, but it had a huge fucking cast.
Anyway, so she was talking about this, and she
Yeah.
was like, don't care about, you know, and that's the thing as well. The way she phrased it is, again, it's kind of like pointlessly hostile. Like, why say it like that? You know, again, I don't necessarily disagree with the premise of, like, okay, it's not really made for those kinds of people, but at the same time, come on, dude, like, you
Yeah.
don't have to be a dick. I'm talking about Brie Larson. You don't have to be a dick to a movie going audience. Like, there's no reason to be hostile. But at the same time, I don't think
Well, it didn't necessarily.
I don't think that means she should have, like, backlash or anything necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I get that it's a shitty thing to say, and you know, I think it's more so she probably should have worded it differently. Like, I have seen people be like, and look, maybe you think this, but, like, people were saying, like, oh, she's a racist and a sexist, and, like,
Nah.
it's one of those, like, okay, in theory, it's technically, you know, racist, technically
It
sexist,
is-
but it's like,
it is in a way, but-
it doesn't really affect anyone.
I
you
don't,
know?
unfortunately, though, I feel like if, say, I did that and I went up on stage and I said, this movie wasn't made
wasn't
for,
for
like,
black women.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it wasn't made for, like, a black woman. This wasn't made
Yeah.
for women, or if I mention an age, or just, like, you know, discriminated anyone who didn't have a penis,
Yeah.
it would be very
controversial.
different.
No, for sure. It
Let's
would
be
be.
fucking real here. It would be.
It definitely would be, but I think at the same time, like, so few movies are made for, like, say, black women, for example.
Yeah, no, I get
I
that.
think that, like, in this specific case, again, I think the movie was, obviously the movie wasn't the best, but, like, it's not. I don't think it's a bad observation to say it wasn't made for, for 40-year-old white guys, but there's no reason to say it in a way that's like, fuck white men, because I think that's just pointlessly causing division.
I saw Raj from school, from the year below us.
yeah.
So he was at this. I went out to see yesterday, and he's he's like brown stuff, and I asked him, like, because we were talking about films and stuff, and I said, I'm just interested, like,
what do you think?
Yeah, I was like, what when movies like Black Panther come out and stuff, like, how's it make you feel? I was like, is it like you hear on the internet all the time about how like much it made people feel good, and I was actually really interested to ask him, and he said that he was like, he really died Black Panther, but something that was really cool that he said was that, he loved Get Out. He's excited for us. Like, he loves Jordan Peele.
That's
right.
right.
I was like, that's fucking sick. And if people can connect with that, if people like that, and it helps people, and it's through cinema, I've got fucking absolutely no problem at all with that.
And a great example is like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse, the recent movie. Like, growing up, for us, for example, it was always easy to watch Spider-Man and be like, shit, I could be Spider-Man, and I want to be Spider-Man, and I would love to be Spider-Man because he looked like us. It's almost a too simplifying way to say it, but it's like, he was a white guy who looked like us. We could very easily be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I think for like a lot of young black boys seeing like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, now they have someone they can be like, oh.
And also like, and Miles was such a good fucking character, and he was done so well, which is obviously a great bonus.
Absolutely. So, I totally respect the representation. But anyway, to get to Bloody Brie Larson. So look, she's got that hostility. She seems to me, and she does seem to me to be very much like in that privileged white lady position where she's trying to be, or like, and even white men do it as well, where they're trying to be so woke, and they're trying to be so like liberal that they overcorrect and they shit on like white guys more than they should. Like,
I think see fucking Gal Gadot doing this.
A lot of people who I think are from minorities don't shit on the people from, like, don't shit on white people because they say, look, I don't care about bringing down white people. I just want to support black people. Like, you're not going to hear Ryan Coogler or Jordan Peele or the guy who directed Moonlight, Barry Jenkins, come out and be like, fuck white people. Like, they shouldn't be watching my movies, because they don't want to take down white people as some kind of like apology, or like to even the whatever. They just want to prop up black people, which is what you should be. That's what the goal of equality and diversity should be. But I think because, and a lot of white celebrities do this who are trying to be super liberal, because she's white, she feels this kind of guilt and like, oh shit, I need to shit on white people, So it's a dumb thing. It was a gaffe. It was definitely a bad statement to make.
I did see it, and I saw it like a sort of like advanced screening.
It's definitely a cringe-worthy thing to say as well. It's like when someone says that, it's like, come on.
Look, I feel like the problem
That's such a cheap line.
The problem with what is even more funny about her saying it now is that like the film was just very fucking standard. Like, it really,
okay.
It really wasn't great. Mm-hmm. I never thought I'd ever say this in my entire fucking life. But get ready for this.
No.
DC did it better.
Oh my gosh.
I am not shitting you. I genuinely think Wonder Woman is a better movie. I think it was directed better. I think it was like just, I don't know. I don't want to say acted better because like I know she tried. It's really the script. It was so much it's so much better written, I believe.
Wow.
Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I would say so. I think it's just
funny because
like, it's just such a fucking standard ass movie, which is really unfair. And I feel like, unfortunately,
you think it was better than Ant-Man?
Oh yeah, I would say it's better than that, man. But that's the problem now, like, because I think it really wasn't a great move to put Ant-Man and Captain Marvel before Endgame.
Yeah.
Because everyone is so fucking keen for that movie, and it's like I really do think that those movies really did, and this is exactly what Captain Marvel shouldn't have been. It kind of felt like it was just kind of pushed aside a bit. Which it shouldn't have been.
See.
It needed a lot of time and effort put into it.
Yeah, I get
and
that.
It feels very cookie cutter. It's like standard ass, like there's the classic like you know, let's show these boys how to do it, you know, and like, I get that you can show like a strong female character.
Yeah.
Like so many movies have shown us this, like Terminator and Alien, and like there are so many fucking movies that don't, you know, when you're trying to be so obviously a pro, you know, did you ever see scenes like that in Alien or with Terminator? You don't see that shit. They're just strong female characters.
Yeah.
But this felt very much like, you know, we're gonna write her to be completely flawless.
Yeah.
And like emotionless and be like completely on like perfect at everything, because she can't be, you know, she can't be flawless.
One thing I don't get,
you know, otherwise it will show she's weak, and she's not weak because she's the strongest.
Yeah.
She's apparently the strongest hero.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you why. She does some things in the movie that are like you know,
yeah,
I guess shows her power. But fucking Ford, like Jeremy Johnson made a fantastic point. He was like, Ford takes a fucking dying star to the chest. And I'm not just saying this because he's a male. I'm not trying to say that he's a better hero for that.
Yeah.
But you know, if
well,
they
he
showed
is literally a god.
Well, yeah, like, but if they and apparently she is too. I don't really know much about the Captain Marvel character, but you know, if they showed a scene that was like as powerful as that one in Infinity War, which is a fucking amazing scene.
Yeah.
Like before he like when he makes Stormbreaker and arrives in Wakanda and stuff.
Yeah.
If like Brie Larson got
I thought that was in Guardians of the Galaxy, or was it?
No, when he makes the Stormbreaker and he lands in Wakanda in Infinity War. Yeah, like if they had a scene like that, which literally in my cinema people were like, that's like you could just feel the excitement. Yeah, it was an amazing moment.
Absolutely.
You just didn't feel that, and I had a very good cinema. Sometimes you don't. Like people were excited to be there. People were very accepting of it.
Yeah.
I just wish there wasn't that moment where you're like, holy shit, if I was like a woman right now, I'd feel very well, you know, represented. It really felt
that,
cookie
you know,
cutter.
and I was going to say too, like...
you know what I mean? Like, there's that scene. That's exactly how I felt with the Doctor that last season with Series 11. There wasn't that scene that made you go, she's the Doctor, and that's fucking sick. And there was no scene that was like, she's the best, like, fucking superhero in this universe. She's great. There just wasn't that scene. I'm sorry.
In terms of Doctor Who, I didn't watch the finale. I watched all 9 episodes. I still am yet to catch up with the finale.
Need to be
but
honest. Nothing to miss.
From what I did see, it didn't feel like she ever got like a speech. You know, every Doctor seems to have a speech. Matt got a speech in his first episode.
Yeah. And it was great.
And Peter got a really good speech in his second one. Like, but she just didn't really seem to get a good speech. What seems to me to be the case, and I was wondering this about Captain Marvel, and it was the same with Wonder Woman. Like, I don't know why they do all these. It's a shame because I think a lot of these movies they've done with female leads, to me, seems like executives who are like, go on, we'll give them a female lead, and that'll please the feminists, and we'll be fine. You know, without actually particularly putting as much care as they should into making sure that it's properly representative for women or whatever. And the example that I'm giving is like, and I might be wrong, but I'm assuming from the trailers, it seems like I've obviously seen Wonder Woman. I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet. I'm seeing it next week. That both movies have, for example, a male villain, and most of the supporting characters around the hero are also male. I know that was the case in Wonder Woman. I'm not entirely sure about that in Captain Marvel. I haven't seen it yet, but like, and so it seems to me that like they're kind of doing a half effort. Like, at least with Black Panther, literally pretty much the entire main cast, it was like, apart from Martin Freeman, was black. You know, so it was an actually the villain was black, the hero was black, all the supporting characters were black. Like, it was properly representative. Whereas for some reason with all these female movies, they do like a female lead and then everyone around them, and I love Sam Jackson obviously, but like you know, everyone around that character is not female. It seems to me like it's just a half effort for the publicity.
There's a scene where you know there's literally a room and it's Captain Marvel and like Nick Fury's obviously and her friend's there who's like a black actress, and there's another black actress who plays a little girl. There's like a scene you're like, well, this is interesting. There's women obviously and there's a black male actor. Yeah, this is an interesting scene, but they don't do anything with it. Yeah, it's like that's enough. They're in the room together. Yeah. But like the thing is, I thought it, but I just feel like no one's gonna think that. Yeah, I'm reading into it a lot.
You know, it's one of those things where it's good for kids to have. Again, it's good for little girls to have like a non-princess hero that they can. Yeah, that's great. You know,
but like who's gonna pick up on that? Realistically, I did. Yeah, because I analyze the shit out of movies. Yeah. Plus, there's a director. The director's obviously a woman, but there's also a man attached to it.
It
Why
was a
is that?
female director. I was wondering about that.
Like,
Captain
the thing is,
Marvel.
I heard nothing about these directors. Like,
Yeah.
I even heard about Patty Jenkins heaps before.
Yeah, I
Wonder
saw a lot
Woman.
of interviews with Patty Jenkins.
I've seen
and that's the
nothing
thing.
with these directors. I've seen a couple of photos,
And
but
that's
it's with a
what's such
man
a
as well. It's
and
directed with a man.
That's
Why didn't
exactly what I mean. Is that like, you
why
know,
couldn't it just been a female? I understand they did a film previously together, but why didn't they just say, let it be led by a woman, like a directed
it's kind
by
of a tough
just a
one
woman?
too, though, because
It's a strange choice.
I don't think that the you know how articles all come out about like the backlash and the fans and stuff like that, and I know that there are people out there who are misogynistic and they do see a female lead and they're like, "Rah, rah, rah," whatever. But like, I could imagine that if you did a movie like we're describing, where it was like truly representative, had female director, had a female like main female cast, if you had a movie like that, I'm sure there would be a lot of guys who are like, pissed off. But like, I think the reason we haven't had that is because I do think there are executives, there are producers who are like,
Yeah.
nah, that wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean? I think
No,
that
you're right.
unfortunately, like, it still is so permissive in Hollywood and in that culture that
Well, I generally think that like
I think the
this is
problem
a
is
misfire.
still up at the top. you know?
I don't think it's. I don't think it's going to get anywhere near as attention or the love that Wonder Woman got.
Yeah.
It's not really been spoken about. The
Well, Captain
majority
Marvel's
of
not as
stuff.
iconic as Wonder Woman either.
That's
so.
true. But that's the thing. Like Wonder Woman is literally a feminist icon.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. And
Yeah.
I think they actually look. Wonder Woman wasn't great by all means. I probably will never watch it again.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a step in the right direction. And
Yeah.
I just feel like
No, definitely.
again, it looked better. It was directed better. It was written better. Again, it's no way flawless at all.
Yeah.
But but there's like the end credit scenes are very interesting. But that it's just a classic. Like I won't spoil it for you, but it is classic. Like
Yeah.
we'll give them this because it's what they
Marvel,
want
yeah.
to see. And I really hope her character like gets like fleshed out in
Yeah.
Endgame. I'm sure she will. But I couldn't help noticing that and I watched this review and it was like I couldn't put my finger on what I didn't like necessarily about Brie Larson's portrayal. And then the reviewer was like, but then like I spoke to a friend after the film, and we were like, what was it? And then her friend was like, I think she was just doing her impression of like Tony Stark. And
Yeah.
now that I heard that going in,
Yeah.
it is very much like a female Tony Stark, like cheeky and like
I see.
the smartest person in the room and like very quirky.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what made Tony Stark so relatable is that he is completely flawed.
Yeah.
He has so many
exactly.
flaws. He's a narcissist. Like he loses pepper all the time. Like he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But
And that's
you
the
know,
thing, you don't
Captain
want to
Marvel
marry
was
Sue
just
either.
completely flawless.
Yeah.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like
Too fantastic.
Like
Yeah.
she was just too
Yeah.
fantastic though. But like
Yeah.
Tony was so flawed and still is, and that's what made people connect with him. Like people love flawed characters.
Yeah, definitely.
But her character, unfortunately, because they really wanted to make her like
and
this
it
strong,
sounds-
powerful woman,
yeah.
they
It
just
sounds
made her
to
completely
me
flawless.
It sounds to me like they didn't really do a great or the villain wasn't really a highlight particularly either. Like
not at all.
one thing, like
Not at
when you're saying that, thinking of Black Panther, I do think that the main character was quite well done, but at the same time, he probably did suffer from a little bit of what you're describing, like flawlessness.
Mm-hmm.
But at least in Black Panther, like the villain was really good and he was really fleshed out and he had a really good backstory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the best. Killmonger was great.
Oh, great! And
Yeah.
and that's the thing is that
And
stories
Michael
are
B.
made
Jordan
up
was like
of
perfect casting.
absolutely.
Perfect,
Stories are made up of
perfect
like
casting.
you've got the hero and then the villain. I think is just as much a part of what makes a superhero movie good. Look, at the same time, talking about all representation stuff, it is a freaking like Marvel movie. Like
Yeah.
you can't hang your hat up
Nah.
on representation for the be and it'll be something like a Marvel movie. But at the same time, I do understand that if it happens in a big budget Hollywood $1 billion
Yeah, no, you
potential,
expect more.
then
You
then
really
you
do.
know that like no. But what I'm saying is if they could do it right there, they could do it right anywhere. And unfortunately, if they haven't done it right here, it's like there still is obviously some.
But it also feels like they really did.
Some work to
They
go.
really did, put on the shoes of a very important issue and something that means a lot to people. And it really did. And it really did feel like
yeah.
it was
Was
just
there-
cookie cut.
Was there like a scene where Captain Marvel deals with sexism?
Not
Someone's like,
re-
"Oh, she couldn't
Oh,
do that.
kinda.
She's a woman."
Well, that's the thing. There's the classic. That is the thing. There's like a flashback scene. She's trying to like, she's like at a really high and she's trying to like grab ropes, and there's the classic like 5 to 6 like white males on the ground like, you suck, you can't do this, you couldn't do that even if you tried, and of course she goes and jumps and she falls. But it's the classic like they're white males shouting at her going,
no, that's funny.
You know, I was saying on the phone like,
that's it. You also don't want to.
I've never done that in my life. Like I've never shouted at women going, how dare you try and be like me.
You also don't want to make sexism too simple of an issue, because sexism is definitely an issue, but like there are a lot of aspects to it. It's not just it's not so black and white as to like men look at women and say,
you can't do this.
Woman, you're less. You know, like there are a lot more subtleties to it, and there are a lot of ways where it kind of happens even, you know, without a lot of people noticing. So I think, you know,
I'm just saying they should have used the sexism maybe in the movie as one of her flaws, but she is completely flawless.
Yeah,
there is nothing. She can just do everything. Yeah, which is what people didn't like about Ray. You know, she was just perfect.
That's a shame. Look, I think that.
But still go see it
again. It's a step. It's a step in the right direction. It's one of those. You know, it's a step in the right direction. It's good. All we can do is hope.
And dead set. I mean this. If you saw it and you enjoyed it, and like you're a woman especially, and you felt empowered, and like, you know, you enjoyed it, and you loved seeing a female on screen, all to you.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I think that's amazing. If that's what people got out of it, if a little girl saw it, or like an old woman saw it, or like a middle-aged woman saw it, and they just felt like empowerment, then, you know, all to you.
No, I get you. Yeah.
Like, respect. If you liked it, you liked it. Personally, I thought Ant-Man was pretty trash. I thought it was pretty trash. Hopefully Endgame was good.
Like, Marvel's got a decent batting average. They're like...
Yeah, it wasn't terrible by all means, but...
Yeah, they're not perfect. They're not perfect, folks.
All
right.
Intermission.
Come back and you'll hear all about some Michael Jackson
another
stuff.
shitty person.
Yeah, we'll have some stuff to discuss. We'll be right back. Thanks.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Before we get into everything, Dan.
You go.
We're going to the casino tonight.
Oh yeah, we are.
How exciting is that? Like, we know, me and Dan, we're going to see tonight. We're going to hit the casino and stuff, and we're going to hit the pub afterwards. You know, I just want to say quickly, like, you know, we are really fucking the definition of work hard, play hard.
No, that's right. Literally
doing this shit today, and I know you're making a similar video to what I am at the moment about that kind of.
Literally,
idea.
my next video is about the idea of like work hard, play hard, and I think I'll get a little bit of footage just on my phone tonight.
But respect
about
the grind, you know.
Absolutely, man. Look, you know, one thing I wanted to do more of this year was hit the city and get out and really.
Yeah, that's so true. Hey,
because the thing is, like, I do work hard, and the truth is, like, I do put in effort.
I do play hard as well.
Yeah, I just play sometimes too hard, but you know, like, I put in a lot of work to the work that earns me money. I also put in a lot of work to the editing and stuff, and you know, what is that worth? What is that for if you don't get to celebrate and enjoy yourself a bit of the time? And I think that it's good that we do that. I think it's really, it's healthy, not physically, but it's mentally healthy. You know,
I just want to say, like, I went to the city last night for my friend's birthday, and she rented like a hotel room for a lot of people, and literally you can walk in, and like in like the kind of like upstairs when you walk up the stairs, there's like this big area, and it was like there's just a fridge filled with beers, and it's like have a complimentary beer on your way to your room, and I was but literally I think I completely fucking destroyed that rule, because I bought 12 Coronas with me, but I was like,
may as well.
I grabbed one, and I was like, did the classic, like, walks back and grabs another one.
That's so good.
And then I literally, before we went out, I went to grab another one. Like, I had some of mine as well, but I went back to grab, like, I thought, you know, I might as well grab another one out, and it was literally locked.
Oh, that's
so they must have been watching me on CCTV going, this guy. And then I thought this morning it'd be open again.
Funny.
So on the way out, I tried to grab one, and it was locked again.
That's hilarious.
So I was like, fuck. So they must have, like, seen me.
Though. You know, when you're at hotels, you got to get the best you can out of it. Like,
I didn't even pay for it, and I was like, I need to get my money's worth.
Well, I took a bit of a leaf out of your dad's book because...
what, the anniversary?
Yeah, well, kind of. So Kath and I are going to Queensland in a few weeks.
But your anniversary is coming up soon, surely.
Week. Well, our anniversary is coming up, but you just wait.
There we go.
We ordered the hotel. It's in like, I think we're going in like about a month from now we're gonna go, and so I was booking the hotel, and it's like, do you have any special requests?
I know that.
And I wrote, and I was like,
well, it is our anniversary.
I was like, it's our honeymoon. You know, we've never left Perth, I think I even said.
You fucking cunt. That's a step further than that.
I was like, look, so as long as it's special for the girl I love, you know, I'll be happy.
So for those who don't know, like, my dad, like my mum and my dad stay in the city quite a lot, and
Yeah.
whenever they go, they say my mum fucking puts their bloody hands in their fucking face, but he's always like, look, it's our anniversary today, and they're like, we'll send up a bottle of champagne and we'll give you a special room, and
No, exactly.
but when you go to the same hotel a lot,
well, that's
they
the thing.
start to get a bit like, hang on a minute,
I figured, look,
wasn't your anniversary last month?
Yeah,
And
it's
you're like,
quite a small town, and it's like,
no, respect for you to do it.
you know,
Might
if
as
you
well.
go there once, you don't really need to go back. So I was like, I may as well try. And the thing is, I'm paying for the room, so they can't, like, if they find out I'm lying, they can't take the room away from me. Like,
Well,
the very least we'll get is the room.
you know, when
And then maybe we'll get there and we'll be like, look, we wanted to upgrade you for free to the best.
Well, they
and we'll
probably
be
will do
like,
that.
hell yeah.
you know, when I went to the Gold Coast at Mitchell, I said it was our anniversary. And
Did
like,
you really?
no. And they're like, why have you got two separate beds? And
You
like,
should've, mate,
in
yeah.
case he annoys me.
We were like, look, it's our 20th anniversary, so
Yeah.
we were getting sick of each other.
There you
frankly.
go. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that. I would though. Old
Speaking
school.
of male on male relationships.
Oh God, you know, it's hard to make a segue, but I was
know.
like, where's he going with this?
It's a tough crowd today.
Oh.
No, I watched the new Michael Jackson documentary. It's probably what's blown up the
I
internet
need
right
to
now.
fucking see it. You've given it to me. Thank
No,
God.
it's very hectic. It's very hectic. So basically, you know, going in, and even when I texted you about it, like, you know, and everyone heard all the rumors. Like, it's always a bloody.
Yeah, even as a kid, I fucking heard.
Yeah,
things
there
a
was
bit
always
weird
like
with
Michael
fucking
Jackson is a
children.
bit of a kiddie fiddler. Like, he'll touch, you know, and he'll have a good time and all that stuff. It was always a controversy, and looking into it, not that I've looked into it much, but like looking into it even just a little bit, and seeing all the interviews that he gave, literally saying,
You're being ignorant.
no, but in the interviews he literally would say like, oh, it's okay for kids to sleep in my bed, like it's okay. He would literally say in the interviews like, I love them, you know, I love you. Like he would talk about that stuff so openly. That's like, how did anyone
Well, that's
think?
what's so weird about it. Why until now are people starting to fucking shake their head? It's been
So
public knowledge for
ridiculous.
literally years. Fucking years.
And so, you know, he's saying all this stuff, and literally so many, I read like quite a few of the different articles, or not articles, but like I saw some things where people were defending him.
Yeah.
And so many of the defenses were like,
Was it
you know,
facts don't lie, people do?
well, okay,
Facts
yeah, that
don't
one
lie,
was.
people do.
One thing
And
that
they just
I
like
saw a
fucking
lot
keep
of,
chanting. I'm like, fuck off.
one thing I saw a lot of people were like, oh, he never got a childhood of his own. So
Right,
he was
that's
a very,
the whole Neverland type
yeah,
thing. It's
so
like
he was a
the-
very childish
Yeah.
man.
So he made the whole like what theme park type.
Yeah,
thing.
and they were saying like, oh, he had a lot of issues. He had a lot of issues because of how.
Well,
fucked
he
up his
was sort of
childhood was.
forced
And
into
that's- no, and
show business.
He
wasn't
did have
by
issues
his
for
dad?
sure, but it's like
Wasn't it
that's
his dad?
that.
That's no
argument,
excuse, obviously.
I
I'm
don't
not
even know
defending that.
how people bought that argument for so long. Like people were literally saying, "Oh, he's just a child on the inside." Like, you know, I just don't know how that makes you think it's okay for him to sleep in the same bed as a kid. And then also, after he does that, he slept in with one kid in the same bed for 30 days straight. Just those two sleeping in his room. And that's confirmed. That's like not disputed. That obviously...
All right, just quietly, you know, I'm about to watch it.
No. Okay, I'm not going to get into...
I'm just saying.
No, they actually don't really go into that
I ain't
too
trying
much.
to get the tea, but
No, what I'm telling you is like not really in the
I'm
documentary.
interested to see what it's all about.
The documentary is very much focused on just two kids.
Yeah.
So I won't talk about them much, obviously, so you
Yeah.
can enjoy it. But
Yeah.
this other kid separately, he slept with him for like 30 days straight. That's confirmed. That's undisputed.
And you don't really
And
know
his
what.
actual argument was like, "Oh no, you know, I didn't.
I never
Nothing
touched him or
happened.
something,
We were
right.
just
Well,
like
he
we-
would say that.
No, but
wouldn't
his
he?
argument was like, we did sleep in the same bed, just nothing happened. It's like, what a flimsy, shitty argument to make.
Weird,
And
man.
the kid,
Weird as.
I don't know how true this is necessarily, but excuse me, I heard like from interviews that he correctly gave details about Jackson's, you know, dick and
Oh,
balls
right.
and ass, like drew sketches and stuff, and then like months later, the FBI took photos and stuff, and it matched up pretty well. Look,
That's a thing. They asked him to.
yeah, apparently
What,
they strip
describe
searched.
his,
Well,
like,
no,
penis?
because Michael Jackson gave an interview and said like they strip searched me, they took photos of my whatever. So like, look, that part to me seems pretty freaking convincing. So it's a rough one, but like, yeah, it's look, the documentary itself is really interesting.
I'm so interested to watch it.
They
man.
really take a focused look at the the victims. They don't really like. It starts off and it's really about the victims. It's not about Jackson per se. Like it's obviously about him, but like they approach it from here is the victim story. That's how they met Michael and all that stuff. So you really get a unique perspective. And look, honestly, like as I was watching it, we watched the first part and then, you know, we watched the second part like a few days later. No, like,
is it pretty heavy or like?
It's pretty heavy, definitely.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I saw an article on Forbes, which is first of all like a financial website. So I don't know why they were commenting.
Right.
But the Forbes article was like, some things you should know before going into the article.
Okay.
And then you read it and, dude, it was a real smear piece. Like, you know,
don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah, and it was very much like it was so very much
stupid.
to discredit the victim. Like,
yeah,
I'll say this. One of the victims, the guy who was like Australian.
Okay, right.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. And I'll be honest, like after the first part, I was kind of like, I don't know, like the one guy seems really believable. The other guy, like, you know, I believe him, but I could understand people thinking he was lying.
Right.
But by the end of the second part, my mind had changed completely. I was like, I totally believe them both. Like, it completely makes sense why he sounds the way he does or why he speaks the way he does. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's... And then reading the article, I was like, they are so obviously trying to just make him out to be like a liar or like a guy who's just after money and all this stuff. And it was so like... And then after watching the documentary, I was like, fuck, dude. The fact they're making these arguments is so biased towards Michael Jackson. It's like, shit,
Well,
man.
one of the biggest things I heard of when I was a kid was the whole, like, Macaulay Culkin thing.
Yeah.
So he was he... Did they mention him?
They do mention him, actually.
So was he like a similar... I heard,
similar.
didn't he, like, sleep in the same bed as him as well? But
Very
Macaulay
similar.
said that nothing happened.
So Macaulay has said that nothing has happened. I would genuinely be curious... maybe something did. I don't know. Like, what I was thinking and what I was saying to Kath while we were watching it, I was like, maybe because Macaulay was such a big actor...
He didn't want to ruin his career, or...
Yeah, maybe Michael Jackson... because the thing is...
He'll forever be known as the guy who got touched up by Michael Jackson.
Well, no, that could be. But what I mean is, like, the other kids that Michael Jackson... And you'll see, the other kids didn't really have a big name for themselves. Their family...
Oh, so were they actors? Or
one... Well, you'll see. But, like, one kind of was. The other was more of, like, a fan kind of thing. But they weren't huge. They weren't big. Like, they weren't popular people. And Michael Jackson obviously preyed on families that were vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Macaulay Culkin, big actor... I'm sure his parents were very powerful. He was
even in one of Michael Jackson's music videos.
Yeah, he was probably very rich. He probably had security. He probably had his own fucking security guard. So like, as much as potentially something happened for sure, I think Michael Jackson probably looked at Macaulay Culkin and said, "That's a bit too risky." Do you know what I mean? I think it would not surprise me if he looked at Macaulay Culkin and said, "Oh, I don't know if I'll get away with this one." You know?
Right, I see.
So maybe it's true, but again. Like they talk about in the documentary, maybe Macaulay Culkin just hasn't been able to accept it yet. Mm-hmm. Because the big thing is, like, especially with child abuse, you don't really... Like, you know what happened to you, and you know that it was bad, but you don't really think... Like, for example, you might think that you wanted it, you know?
Right.
You might think that because you were in love with him...
Yeah.
You chose to do it, and you wanted to do it, and so if you come out and say that he did that to you, or maybe your actions were like convincing him that you did want it. Exactly. You might think that, well, I can't say that he did that to me because
maybe I convinced him that he did. I did want it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So like, there are so many things that make you so fucked up, just so fucked up, and again, I don't want to spoil. Like, I'd love to talk to you about it once you've watched it, but they kind of describe the moment where they realized
what happened was fucked up. Yeah,
how fucked up it was, and it's so like it, and it makes so much sense. Yeah, the moment that they figured out, like, that really is the only moment they would find that out. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really, really interesting. And I honestly, I look at it and he's a fucker.
Well,
He's
have you heard about how many radio stations are dropping?
Yeah,
there's actually one in Perth, and I was going to send you. I don't know if I did, and I was really interested to send you it.
Yeah.
The Simpsons episode with got
Michael
dropped.
Jackson. Very.
Not going to air it. How fucking crazy is that?
Very
crazy.
Very interesting.
It's crazy.
But
again, what pisses me off so much is this isn't new.
Yeah, I know.
It's so
crazy.
fucking apparent.
It's crazy.
It's the most obvious thing. It's literally staring you in the face.
Yeah.
What annoys me is that obviously I haven't seen it, but like, well, this isn't new information necessarily.
Dude, fucking hell, when you watch it, like, do you know Neverland Ranch? Like, do you know what it is?
Not really. I know it's just a theme park. It sounds very creepy and strange.
It is. That's what I mean. Like when you watch it and you realize like he literally built a kid fucking house.
Basically,
like that's pretty much what it is.
To intrigue children to go.
Like, I mean, fucking hell. Like
it will give them. It's literally like as a kid, your dream is to like live in a theme park.
Literally, and look,
isn't it though? Like,
I understand that everyone's complex. Everyone's got different aspects. He probably did enjoy it for non-kid fucking reasons. I'm sure that was part of what was appealing to the whole ranch thing. But still, it's so shady. It's so
he's
like
such a strange looking bloke as
why
well.
would you? Oh, he's creepy looking, man.
Why? How the fuck did he change his skin color? Looking.
So I actually looked into this because I was
peculiar.
curious. So what happened was he actually was diagnosed with a disease in like the late 80s, like early 90s. He had this disease where
a disease that makes you change your fucking skin color.
Well, you know how like people who are black have the pigment, like, or they have the black pigment. It's like something in your skin. Literally, his pigment was dying off or something, so his skin was in patches going white. And then the theory is that because it was in patches going white, he then bleached all of it so it was even, at least.
It generally looks fucking bleached.
And to make it white. So the theory is that he did bleach it, but it was going white anyway. He just bleached it so it would look even. Because it would be pretty weird if it was like black shoulder, white shoulder kind of thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, so he did that. And then also, and I think I don't know why he did this, but I think it was maybe because he looked white. He wanted to look white in every way. You know how like black people kind of have slightly bigger noses kind of thing. He like did surgery to make his nose a lot smaller. Yeah. I mean, everyone knows about that.
Yeah.
He made his lips kind of less, black people very
so he had like
lips.
massive plastic surgery.
Yeah, and I think it was to make. I don't think he necessarily wanted to be white. I just think he wanted to look. I think he wanted his face to match his skin color, which had turned white.
Have you seen the notorious South Park episode?
Oh yeah.
You're being ignorant.
Oh man,
but that's hugely. It has Neverland in it. Has the whole nose getting pulled off. Like,
well, dude,
it's extreme. But like
now,
fucking
it's pretty
South Park,
fucking accurate.
Years ago,
called it.
For fuck's sake, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's not. I can't stress enough how public this knowledge was, and people,
it's so bad.
Literally have turned a blind eye because he's famous.
Dude,
he's
went
dead
through
for fuck's sake.
Well, he went through 2 criminal, but like court. Like he went to court twice, which is like fucking hell. Like. Yeah. Oh,
it's
man.
a very strange bloke. And I don't know about you, and I'm not just saying this because of all the stuff that came out of him. This is even before all this shit. I never liked his music, ever. I've never been a fan of his music.
I do definitely enjoy some of his music, but I was saying to Kath, I was like, because, you always get into a conversation when it's like, can you separate the art from the artist, that kind of thing. I personally think it's, for most people, when I find out, it makes it pretty hard to listen to their music. And then I said to Kath, I was like, look,
I don't even care.
I was like, yeah, I'm not going to miss Michael Jackson music, frankly. Like I'm not going to be pissed off that I never hear another Michael Jackson
There's no denying, I know it's probably a bit bad for me to say, but there's no denying that he's obviously, like, very talented.
Definitely.
A lot of people loved him.
Hugely so. Well,
but I just never clicked with him.
Dude, both in terms of...
my dad saw him live.
Both in terms of
Can you
music,
fucking believe that?
No, that's amazing.
My dad's 60 next year, so he fucking saw him live.
Dude, both in terms of music and in terms of dance, he was an insanely good dancer. And I read online, he is like, I think he's the only artist to have like a song in the top hundreds, Billboard charts, whatever, in 5 different decades because of the Jackson 5 and everything. So like, it's insane. He's so insanely talented, but you can't deny that he was a pedophile. He was a pedophile and he molested children. Like he did do it. There's no. I know there's this whole fucking innocent until proven guilty, but come on. When it's staring you in the fucking face, man.
And it always has.
No, it has.
And like that's the scary thing, he's always been such a, I don't know, like, do you remember that movie that came out years ago.
Yeah.
The This Is It movie.
Yeah.
So that's
I
got
remember
released. That released after
Well,
he
that's what I was
died.
gonna say as well. Like they briefly talk
And
about
how did
like,
he die?
He just died. He had
his doctor gave him
he had
too
like
much.
a heart attack. 'cause
Yeah, his doctor
gave him too much.
over-prescribed him.
Yeah. He
Probably
did.
fucking deserved it.
I think he did have something.
Let's be fucking real.
But yeah, it was rough.
He probably did fucking deserve it. Little
But
cunt.
again, like when he died, seeing so many, he was so insanely massive. Like that's the thing too.
He's loved.
When
Still is.
When you're getting molested by an adult, that's horrible as a child. But like when you're getting molested by literally the most, what seems like the most powerful, the most popular,
No
the
one would
most
believe you.
famous
No one would
person
believe you.
in the world.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. There's no
Well,
way.
I think you would have said it and people would have been like, no, you're just trying to grasp
Yeah.
off his fame and make a
No.
name for yourself. Like,
It's
it's
messed up.
scary how fucking huge. It's like, for instance, like there's like shit in the royal family, how like they can literally get people killed and it would be completely covered up.
Yeah. No, of course.
The whole
absolutely.
Princess Di thing, like that got completely covered up. That
Well,
is
and it's
fucking
the
shady.
same- it's-
It'd be the same
yeah.
with him. If someone said he did this,
Yeah.
they'd be like, no,
No,
he didn't.
exactly. It's the same with like
They'd be like,
Scientology, man.
how?
It's the same. There are
Yep.
so when people get so
Tom Cruise.
unimaginably famous, it's insane. Like I don't know if you saw that Scientology chick who was married to Kevin James in his TV show.
Kevin James.
No, not married to Kevin James, but she was his wife in the show.
Okay.
She went on Joe Rogan, I think, and she was talking about like Scientology and how if you get to the top of Scientology, and she was talking about Tom Cruise could literally murder someone, and like he has people around him who would just do
the crime.
everything they can to cover it up, and it's crazy. I personally think that kind of level of fame and fortune, it never
No.
is good.
No.
It is never good. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for anyone. I really don't think it is.
It's not, and it's just like it's actually fucking scary, and I'm very, very intrigued to watch it. I was trying to find it all week, so thank you for giving it to me. Maybe next week we can talk about it
that's
because
all right.
I'm very intrigued to talk about. We've got a question though.
I'm glad. Well, let me just say, I'm glad I
got one.
saw it. We're going a bit long today, folks, but it's not gonna be too long. But
No, wait. Luke's watching the Michael Jackson documentary.
oh man, it's interesting. It's so interesting. Wait, before you open the questions,
I haven't got it yet. Just
I'll say I'm glad I saw the Michael Jackson documentary, and I'm curious about how you're seeing these days. What's up with those dang glasses, man?
oh, these. Oh,
Just trying to get the best segue I could, frankly.
No, I just sometimes get a bit fucking fuzzy when I read shit. So when I get tired and stuff. Also, it's a bit of a fashion statement.
Oh, fair enough.
My girl likes it, so
It's much less
Uh,
controversial story.
Alright, what movie can you watch over and over without ever getting tired of it? Shit, probably like Back to the Future. Infinity War's one of them.
There's a few. I mean, I love
Star Wars.
We watched The Hangover a few times.
Yeah, that's a fantastic one.
That's one I could definitely
You
watch
can
over and
rewatch
over. The Simpsons movie is really good.
Fantastic. Yeah, we literally watched that 4
Yeah.
times in 1 month,
Yeah.
and we just kept coming over.
Nah, it's so good. Yeah, I'm probably like a Star Wars one.
Which celebrity would make the worst leader of a country?
Was that?
Wasn't Arnie? Which celebrity would make the worst leader of the country? Probably Kanye, to be honest.
Worst leader.
Yeah, probably Kanye.
Yeah, I think, and it's worse with Kanye because he wants to run.
He literally does.
Like, he wants to be the leader. Yeah, Kanye would be rough.
What's the most useless thing that you know how to do? Good question.
Actually, no, Kanye would be rough, but I think Kim would be like
Oh no,
the
puppet, first lady,
the puppet master behind
Good
the scenes.
Jesus.
She would be like controlling everything.
What's
Sorry,
this?
what was that question?
What is the most useless thing that you know how to do?
Huh.
Oh, I know what she's fucking alluding to here. I can name every episode of Doctor Who from series 1 to 11 in order.
Brilliant.
She's very attracted to that.
Very good.
I'm not answering that last question because it's a bit cheeky.
Oh, I wonder. I'm trying to think. What's a totally useless thing I can do? Probably something similar with like some dumb TV. Or
We know
movie
random
thing.
shit about
Yeah,
Twitter and movies and
I
stuff.
I remember one thing Kathy used to say, like when we first started dating. I have so much random and completely pointless like TV trivia, movie trivia in my
I
head.
think there's that stupid fucking dumb show on 10 at the moment. It's like the movie trivia, and they're like asking these questions,
Who
and I
directed
was like,
the first Star Wars?
well, they were asking just fucking stupid movie questions, and I was just answering like this and that and this and that, and then I go to TAFE and I know fuck all, but one day, son.
I love it.
Good podcast today, man.
Yeah, you too, dude.
Cheers for joining me.
It's always a pleasure.
My head's fucking hurting.
I
I'm
joined
hungry as
you.
shit, but
No, I'm glad to
You
be here.
fucking
Thanks for
cunt.
letting me in.
cheers, dude. Now get out of my house.
I wanted to do the old handshake, but my arm's a bit stuck behind there. Anyway, cheers, man. It's a good one. Thank you, folks.
Always a pleasure.
For dropping
See you
in.
next
There
week.
was the mid-season finale.
We'll say you can watch us on YouTube.
Which of us is gonna get killed off?
How do you mean?
It's the mid-season finale. Someone has
True.
to die.
We're on
so-
AMC fucking mid-season break.
Come back next week and you'll find out who died in the mid-season finale.
Yeah, but if you want to watch the, if you're on the audio right now, you want to watch the video version of this, it's at youtube.com/Conor Hannum.
Yep, youtube.com/DanielIsWeird. Check out my videos.
If you're also watching this on the video, you can listen to this on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Music.
Perfect.
And if you want to sponsor us, please do.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor, if you want to share all of these videos, please do. Tell your grandparents, tell your grandchildren.
Tell a friend.
Tell your friends, tell your aunties and uncles, tell your nephews and nieces.
All right.
Tell your priest in confession.
Loki, love you. See you later.
Thanks, folks.
Bye.